Home Alone is one of the greatest Christmas movies ever made, if not the #1 Christmas movie. I've seen this movie so many times, I've lost count. I would say it is my personal favorite Christmas movie. And here's the thing, there are still things about it that make me upset. So I put together a list of 7 things that bother me about Home Alone. I'm gonna try to avoid talking about plot holes and potential continuity errors, because those things are in every movie. But here are 7 things that just bother me about Home Alone. So the first one, I don't think Kevin has a bedroom in this house. I've seen this movie so many times, and the bedrooms you do see are the parents' bedroom and Buzz's bedroom, but no Kevin bedroom. I have the Home Alone Lego set. And if you look at the schematics of the house, you have the lower level, which has like the kitchen, the living room, the front door. Then you move up to the second level, and it's got Buzz's room and the parents' bedroom, and then the attic. Where's Kevin's bedroom? There's one scene where he rolls out the battle plan, and it's on a desk, and the desk has like this, plane lamp or something on it, and some toys. This could be his bedroom. But also it's still not clear. This could just be the attic, because apparently, even when he has family in town, his family says, Kevin, I don't know where you normally sleep, but you're gonna sleep upstairs in the attic with the kid who pees on himself. Even in the Lego set, it has Kevin, his bedroom is the attic. So this bothers me. I understand the movie plot. They wanna have him hiding in his parents' bedroom. That makes sense to me. I mean, he goes into his brother's room to go through his life savings and all that. But there's no part ever where he goes to his bedroom. There's no way. Please tell me Kevin has a bedroom. It just bothers me that we never get to see it. Even the stuff he plays with, he takes Buzz's BB gun and he uses that. Does he not have anything that's his? I don't know. That's number 1. Number 2, Kevin runs outside to see if his parents are gone, and he notices that the cars are still in the garage. The car on the left isn't fully in the garage, which means either this car is too big to even fit in the garage, or someone didn't even pull in all the way. It's just sticking out. Who parks a car like this? The other car is parked in the garage, they just left the garage door open. That's normal, but the left side, that would bother me so much. If someone pulled into the garage halfway, there's no way you would be able to close the garage door. It would just be sitting there. Even if you went out to close the garage door, you would have to move the car a couple feet to even fit it. It's bizarre. Who parked that car? All right, the next one that bothers me, and this has probably been talked about so many times, but it still is huh? So Kevin lines up at the top of his stairs with his sled, and he wants to go sliding down the stairs. Seems pretty normal, but there's obviously no way that this sled would ever make it down the stairs and out the door based on the angle of the house. I mean, they even shoot it from the angle, from Kevin's perspective almost, and you can clearly see that these stairs are lined up perfectly with just the wall. Yet somehow, this sled miraculously makes it through the door and outside and goes flying into the yard. And it's pretty obvious Kevin has an engineering degree from MIT with these traps he's setting up in the house, but somehow he's at the top of the stairs and he sees that his trajectory is straight into a wall and thinks, I think this might work. So that also bothers me, just looking at the scene, because it just doesn't connect. It just doesn't connect with the viewer. The next one is Old Man Marley, the South Side Shovel Slayer. So Kevin's at the grocery store and he's buying a toothbrush, or trying to, and he sees Old Man Marley. He throws his hand down onto the counter. And you can see his hand has got a big bandage on it. He did something to it. It's bleeding through the bandage, and Old Man Marley is buying Band-Aids. This bothers me for 2 reasons. One, the wound seems to be substantial, and his thought was, oh man, this is bleeding through the bandage. This is like insane. I need to go to the store and get Band-Aids. Not, I need to go to the ER and get stitches. And then second, we don't ever figure out what happened to his hand. And it just seems like it's an important plot piece because later in the movie, they make a very specific scene with Old Man Marley shaking Kevin's hand, and you can see he has a Band-Aid on it. It's a very intentional scene, so it seems like it's important, but it's not. There's nothing about it. I mean, it makes sense that like in that moment, it kind of startles Kevin, kind of scares him. Oh man, this dude's bleeding. So that kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it almost seems like the writers were thinking, okay, we need Old Man Marley in the grocery store. Now, why would he be at the grocery store? How about he has an insane wound on his hand and he's there to buy Band-Aids? I mean, Marley could have been there buying a toothbrush as well. I mean, he could have been there buying a can of beans. I mean, it's just a little convenience store. Any reason is a valid reason. And then the writers, now that they've established that he has a wound, they're like, oh no, we have to make sure that we get a shot of him using the Band-Aids. Otherwise, this scene doesn't make any sense. So I don't know what happened there. Maybe there was more scenes that got cut. I'm not quite sure, actually. I've never looked it up, but that's always bothered me that we've never figured out what happened to his hand. He's just bleeding. This one still kind of involves Old Man Marley, but in a different way. So before the wet bandits come and invade Kevin's house, Kevin goes to the church and he's walking in and you can hear the choir singing. There's probably 50 kids in this choir and the choir is pretty good. But when you look out into the audience, nobody is there. There's a couple of old grandmas and grandpas in the front. I think there's like 4 of them. But 50 kids? That means their parents dropped them off and said, we don't want to listen to you. We need to go Christmas shopping or whatever they're doing. This is Christmas Eve, I think. It's just so bizarre. It's like, where is everybody? These kids have no one came to listen to them. There's like 1 or 2 people and that's it. They've all been abandoned to sing this beautiful choir. I know it probably makes more sense, like production-wise, to have Kevin walk in and it's just empty and he's just kind of there by himself with his thoughts. But still, every single parent of these kids said, I don't want to listen to you. They just left. This next one is pretty short and quick, but still confusing and bothers me. Kevin makes himself dinner before the wet bandits are about to break in. He makes mac and cheese and a glass of milk. Great dinner. But when he goes to eat, he picks up his fork and his knife and he begins to cut into it like it's a steak or something. It's mac and cheese. I've never seen anyone eat mac and cheese with a knife before. I can only assume, well, who knows? Maybe they had a different meal plan. Maybe he was gonna have like steak or something and they switched the meal and they'd already gotten the blocking down with like, you grab the fork, you grab the knife, you do this. And it's already been in his mind. So when they switched the food to mac and cheese, it was fork, knife, cut, eat. But why would you use a knife on mac and cheese? And the last thing that bothers me about this movie is after the wet bandits get caught and they're in the police car going off to jail and Kevin's waving bye-bye, it's nighttime. He basically has just this night to clean the entire house. So you might be thinking, well, so much chaos has been caused in this house, that's impossible to clean up. When I was thinking about it, I was like, well, maybe. I mean, he just had toy cars on the floor, some paint buckets, broken ornaments. I mean, that part's fairly easy to clean up. But then you gotta factor in, he made an insane mess with the feathers going everywhere in the kitchen or the dining room. And then he put tar on all the stairs with a nail sticking out of it. There's no way he got all that tar cleaned up, in addition to everything else in the house, and was spotless before the parents got home in the morning. He would have been up all night scraping tar off stairs. And based on the second movie, it doesn't seem like the parents ever found out that the wet bandits broke into their house. Kevin never told them. So that just means that like the parents got home, someone went down to do laundry and they stepped in the tar pit and said, Kevin, why would you put tar all over the stairs? And he can't tell them that bad guys were in the house because he never told them. So he just had to make up some story like I was playing with my army men and this was like a tar pit or something. He had to come up with some type of excuse why he would put tar and nails on the stairs and it would be okay. So that bothers me, that he had time to set up all these elaborate traps, but also had time to clean up and tear them down with no trace of anything, including the tar on the stairs. No way. So that bothers me. But with everything that bothers me about this movie, it's still my #1 favorite Christmas movie. There's just so many good things about it. Especially, this is almost like a bonus bothersome I have. I love the set design. There was that show, The Movies That Made Us, they did an episode about Home Alone and they talked about the set design. They were intentional about making everything red and green. They were like, this is a Christmas movie and it's gonna feel like a Christmas movie. I mean, the McAllister house, it has green wallpaper, red carpet, and those are things that you don't just put up for Christmas. That's permanent installations. The kitchen has got like oven mitts and rolling pins and every single thing in the house is red and green, except for the PJs that Kevin has. They're blue and green. All of Kevin's other outfits are red and green. He's got a red sweater, a green sweater with a red jacket, red scarf, like everything's red and green, except for that one pair of PJs. Why are they blue? It just throws off the Christmas vibes. Anyways, let me know if you rank Home Alone at the #1 Christmas movie spot or if there's a better one in your opinion that you think is #1. But I think it's Home Alone, even with all these things that bother me.
Hey,